Alright guys, back again. Let's talk about Ducktales, the movie, The Treasure of the Lost Lamp, which surprisingly I did not see as a kid because I did watch Ducktales a lot. As a kid, I really enjoyed Ducktales, and I feel like I enjoyed it as an adult too because it's just nostalgic. But I haven't watched it since I was a kid. Funny enough, most Disney stuff I've rewatched, but since that's an old show, it's different than like a movie in terms of Disney, and I would like to see the show again. But watching this movie, which again I wish I really saw whenever I was a kid, because this one was fun and it really brought me back to that childhood feeling of like what Ducktales was like watching that as a kid. Um, and it's funny because this came out in 1990, before Return of Jafar, which was the first Disney direct-to-video movie. This came out before that, so this is technically one of those direct-to-video Disney movies that came out first, but it's a TV movie, I guess you could say. It's a Disney Toons movie, which I think also did a Goofy movie as well, but it's funny that people mention Return of Jafar as the first direct-to-video movie. I guess people just refer to it as the first direct-to-video Disney sequel, but this might be the first direct-to-video like Disney animated movie. And I might be off the line on that. I might be completely wrong, and maybe there might be one before this, but I feel like this might be the first one that came out for a Disney TV movie or direct-to-video movie onto like home video and non-theaters. So it's just funny to see that. It's funny to see this might be the first one. Now, this was good, but it made sense in a way that this is like a TV movie because it feels like a very long episode of DuckTales, which I'm fine with because again, I liked revisiting these characters and this kind of world that these characters in this iteration of like Donald Duck and his nephews and like Scrooge and all these characters go. So I really like that, and it's worth noting, but it's not like an issue for me that it's like a TV movie. It's not trying to be fully theatrical, even though there are moments that feel a little theatrical throughout. But it still feels like a TV movie, obviously, and it's not trying to be super like a big like theatrical movie. It's just trying to be like, oh, it's a long episode of DuckTales, which again I'm fine with. Now, I want to mention that Christopher Lloyd is in this, and it's cool that he plays Dijon, who is the villain, and he's already a great actor, but his voice in this movie like is really scary for this character. Like I really like how they brought him in and he did a really creepy voice, and it's really effective, honestly. Like I was surprised in how, as an adult, I was like, man, this character has a like really disturbing just way, like, or not disturbing, a really creepy way of sounding. Like I liked Christopher Lee's voice performance in this. It was really cool, and all the other voice actors are from the show, so it's typical, like they do good, like typical all these other actors. But Christopher Lloyd is one that I wanted to mention because he's really good in this. He's really good as this villain, so I really like his voice. Now I want to talk about the big elephant in the room for this movie, in which this came out in 1990. Aladdin came out in 1992, but this movie is about all the characters from DuckTales encountering a genie that makes pop culture references and that the villain wants to get for himself. It's funny because this is a very pre-Aladdin in a way where it feels like this was a template for like, we're going to do this and then we're going to do Aladdin, and it's going to be very similar, but Aladdin's going to be theatrical and it's going to have Robin Williams as the genie. So, and even the ending where the castle goes into the sky is like Aladdin. That's really funny. And then at the end, whenever the genie becomes a real boy as opposed to being free, even though technically he is free, if the genie is freed at the end like in Aladdin. But I just thought that was funny that this is so much like Aladdin in terms of just a lot of things they do in this movie. It feels so much like it, and it's not as good as Aladdin, but it's still real. It still is good. I really do like this movie. It was a fun time, but I just can't help but point out all those things with like it being connected to like Aladdin, like literally almost a lot of things are just the same as Aladdin. It's funny, but again, that's totally fine because this was a direct to video TV movie that didn't that people I think a lot of people didn't even see. It probably I don't know if it did well or not, like video like release wise, like if it sold a lot, but there are a lot of kids I know that are nostalgic for this, and it's just one I missed unfortunately, and it's so weird that I did because I loved the show as a kid. So. Um, and I really enjoyed. Again, I just enjoyed a lot about this. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the fun. I enjoyed Christopher Lloyd. Definitely, just Christopher Lloyd is really, really great in this movie. It was just a really fun time and a really fun TV movie equivalent to like Disney, and that's fine. Again, I do really love that. So this was a fun watch. I really did enjoy Ducktales: The Treasure of the Lost Lamp. So thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me down below what you think of this movie, and again, thank you.